In this video, I will go over a few things that were covered in class. So when I corrected your paper, there were certain things I highlighted in class. So it all has to do with properly following the marking scheme. Let me just adjust this. So for your paper 2, it's very important you follow the scheme that is given here. Let me start with this. So for example, it says the line spacing should be 1.5. The font has to be Arial and the paragraphs have to be justified. It's extremely important you follow this, and you need to use page numbering. If you do not do this, marks will be deducted, and you can also see your paragraphs should be of length 6 to 16 lines. I actually counted. Some people have paragraphs of length 2, at times 3 lines. That's really not good. It's not sufficient for you to pose your issue, to argue it, and present whatever you need to present for it. So it's a good style to have paragraphs which are of similar length, and it should be between 6 and 16 lines, not more than, not less than. Actually, you should aim for something in between them. Now, let me just show you how to do this rapidly. So I have this text. I will just change the font to Arial. All I will have to do is to select everything, come there in my Word document and choose Arial and hit enter. So this is Arial. Now I just need to come and change the font size to 12. The next thing, I want it to be justified. You simply need to go to alignment. Wherever you see the alignment, so the default is that it is left aligned. You can see how it ends here. I'm going to come here and choose this and click on justify. And if you look at the next instruction that is given there, it says you should put page numbering. You just need to go to insert. Under insert, you will find page number. It's here. I'll click the drop down and it's up to you. I generally like to put it at the bottom and on this angle on the right. So I'll click on that and it's going to automatically put it. I'll just double click there to get out of that. So once you do that, you can see that you've already met all the requirements which are here. Just make sure you have this length for your things. Now, if I come here for your references, it's extremely important you respect this. You use hanging indentation. Some were using different indentation, but it wasn't hanging indentation. I had already made a video last time and posted it on how to do hanging indentation. Take a look at the video I had posted on Layer. Now, for you to have the proper format, actually some even had less than the required amount of sources. It's important for you to have at least the minimum. If you have less than that, then you will be losing marks. The proper format. How do you know the format you should use for your list of references as well as for your in-text citation? It's important to use the proper format. I'll show you where you get the document. Go to Dawson website under current students. You'll scroll down to the Academic Skills Center. I'll click on Academic Skills Center. On your right, you'll find APA and MLA guidelines. We said we will be using APA in this class, so I'll scroll down and you have APA for your references. So if I click there, you will see how to do your list of references. You can see here it's using hanging indentation. You can see here it's going to use the last name or the family name, then the first name is just the abbreviation and so on. It's very important you follow this. This is for certain types of documents. Then it's, let me see. Okay, let me get out of this place. Okay, here we go. I just needed to change from one tab to another. And if you look at look at the different references, okay? You have different formats. If you are using an ebook, if you are using an article, look at how it's done. It's important you follow it. Same thing with citation. So this is where I had a lot of trouble. Now, if you look at how it's done, you see here you have the last name. You have no abbreviation inside. Lots of students were including abbreviations. For example, you have Smith, then you'll have an A or you'll have an M. Please do not put an abbreviation. And also the period comes at the end, not in between. You don't put your period here, it's at the end. And if you choose to put the page, that's fine, but make sure you really use P. There were papers where I just had the numbers and I really did not have P. It's very important you make sure you respect whatever you are doing. Take a look. Here you don't use and, you use ampersand. Of course it means and, but you use ampersand, and look at how it's done. Al, some never had the period. You have period, comma, okay? When you see Wolinski, Al, the Al has a period and a comma. Very important for you to follow that. So come here, get a look at the APA format and use that for your paper. That is for this and that. Now, I also had people who actually wrote their whole paper with no in-text citation. If you do that next time, the paper will just be rejected completely. You'll get a failing grade. You have to use an in-text citation at least for each paragraph, because your paragraphs are arguing something, and you need to show that you are using arguments which are supported by scholarly sources. Now, please, by all means, do not use any newspaper. I had students who were using newspaper as their sources. Do not use it. Only use scholarly sources. Scholarly sources, I repeat, make sure you use scholarly sources, not newspapers. Okay, so let's come here. I will not, so many did not have thesis statement. It's very important for you to go online and look what a thesis statement is. Make sure you are comfortable with it. I talked about that in class. Maybe I'll make a short video tonight or tomorrow just on thesis statement, but it's not complicated. You should try to get a thesis statement that makes sense for your paper. A thesis statement is really not in the form of this paper will cover this. It's really a statement. It's a declaration, and then you go on to support whatever you plan to do. Now, most students did a fairly good job here. However, some were doing what we call data dump. So each paragraph, they will say this article does blah, blah, blah. It's all about one article. No, do not use that writing style. I think I had already talked about that in my previous video where I was showing hanging indentation. So make sure, I think I've covered most of the things. If anything is missing, or if anything is not clear, please contact me. But it's important, these few nuggets I'm giving, that you really follow them. Make sure the format is the right format. Make sure you use good sources, not newspapers. It has to be scholarly sources. Make sure each paragraph has at least an in-text citation, except your introduction and conclusion. You don't need to. If you choose, fine, but you don't need to for your introduction and your conclusion to put in-text citation. You can use the same introduction you used in your previous paper. However, you have to adapt it to the reality of this third perspective you will be using. So what else? Okay, everything is fine. Just make sure you don't forget to include your name. Most students had this well. Okay, another thing, make sure your paper is between 3 to 4 pages. I think that's basically it. Now, one final recommendation, have just one paragraph for your conclusion. You should not be having 2 paragraphs for your conclusions, just one. That is enough. Okay, have fun, and I'll see you in class.